D. McClung, D. McClung's Ultra Monologues, brought to you by, you know it, iDemon Studios, where art is made for over 50 years. And McClung Originals. Let's throw in the other one too. Real Deal Books. I've got over 12 books published. Well, not over, exactly 12. And soon to be more coming. Coming soon, more books of various kinds. Art books, photography books, books with text in it, writing, words, like not just poetry, but, fiction, nonfiction, things like that. All right. Okay, here's something, first item. First item is something that bothers me considerably. And, when I say that, I don't mean that, my life is like all in an uproar and I'm like, psychotic and hysterical or anything like that. Basically because I actually have a life, a real one, outside the internet. I'm not attached to my iPhone, iPad, whatever the fuck. Actually, my cell phone doesn't even work here where I live. I'm in a kind of a dead zone. And I suppose it would work under certain circumstances, like as if I had one of those special phones that, like, kicks off a satellite or something. But, I'm not spending that kind of money. Don't need it. And so I don't have one of those. Not spending $1,000 for a freaking cell phone anyway. That's just crazy. All right. And people do it, though. It just amazes me. All right. Here's the thing that bothers me in an intellectual way. Is that the right way to say that even? It disturbs me, it bothers me, it doesn't upset me particularly. Sometimes I get a little upset with people, but that's different than just getting upset over an idea or a concept or somebody's opinion or whatever. Let's just say I am aware of the stupidity of some people and their idiotic ideas. All right. So, item one, just to get that rolling, abortion. Here's the deal. It's a legal medical procedure. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's necessary for reasons that are quite obvious to anybody that's like, in a conscious state of existence. You're not brain dead. You know that there are fetuses that, don't develop well. There are health issues. And I have seen situations in my life or been aware of real people who had a fetus or a future baby that was not developing well, that had some kind of physical impairment. Like, for example, and I'm not making this up, by the way, for example, a fetus that has, no brain, or the brain is outside of the skull, or the heart is outside of the body, or it has no kidneys, or it has no brain function, something of that nature. A very severely defective heart that would probably render that fetus, when it is born and becomes a baby, it would probably render that baby unviable. And the mother says, along with her doctor, who she's working with very closely because she's a conscientious parent to be, and a conscientious person, and she's interested in her health as well as the health of her future baby. And she's concerned. And, the doctor says, you allow this child to become into the world, it's going to die. Like, probably be born dead or die within hours, minutes, or days after it's born, because it is just not possible for a baby to continue to exist and live, without a fucking head or something like that, or no kidneys, or it's brain damaged in some fashion. And they can tell things like that nowadays. The point is, if you have a defective fetus, and you're aware of that because you've been going to the doctor for prenatal care and prenatal exams and so forth, and, the doctor will advise you, if it lives, if it's even born alive, it's going to be miserable, it's going to be in pain, and it's not even going to be, it's going to be a vegetable. No, you could just, give it up and then try again. And I know people who have done that. People who have given it up because it was just simply not viable. Anybody who would think, oh, you gotta have it, even though it's gonna die in like 5 minutes. You gotta give it birth because, God said so, or some stupid shit like that. But that's just more than cruel. That's just like, mind your own damn business, people. It's not your body, it's not your fetus, it's not your baby. And don't give me that shit about, oh, it's not your body. As long as it's inside me, I'm not a woman, but, speaking for a woman, if I have a body inside me, it's my body. Not my body, but my body, I own it, in other words. And, it's not going to work as a baby. It's not going to work as a human being. Just physically not possible. Better to end that. And I think probably at the early stages is best. Oh, by the way, we got to have a heartbeat. There's a heartbeat going on there, blah, blah, blah. For one thing, a heartbeat doesn't make anything. Heartbeat's a heartbeat. And if there is such a heartbeat, when would that occur? The first 6 weeks? So let's say that if there's a heartbeat, all right, after that, we'll talk about that. But before there's a heartbeat, it's not heart beating, it's not alive by any stretch of the imagination. It's just some cells. And I don't care whether you like that or not. I don't care if you agree with that. If you don't, you're an idiot. Science is science. Biological fact is truth. There is no debate here. This is not the 12th century. We know stuff now. And by the way, if you're a Christian and you believe in that Bible stuff and that Christian garbage, you're still living in the 12th century. Really. You're not a viable human being in the modern world. I mean, you're like an alien from another planet, just happens to be here now. Sorry, if that bothers you, if that offends you or whatever, fuck you, I don't care. Because I'm just fed up with you people that just want to live in this la-la land. And you obviously want to because you do, and you have a choice. You can say, let me think. That's stupid. I'm not going to believe that anymore. Yeah, that's how you do that. That's how that problem is dealt with. So anyway, abortion. Sometimes it's physically necessary. The mother life is in danger. I mean, if you keep, with this pregnancy, it's going to kill you, and you're not going to have a baby. You're going to die, and so is your fetus, or your future baby, if that's what you want to call it. All right? Do you want to die? No. The only way you're going to live is to get rid of this cancer Suppose the fetus has a cancer, a large tumor on his brain or wherever. You want to die, mother? No. Then we can save your life. We'll perform a procedure, a legal medical procedure, and save your life. And you could stay alive, and perhaps if you still want children, you can try again. Assuming that everything in your body is functional and capable of reproducing. If not, tough luck, I'm sorry, but, that's the way life goes. Sometimes you just can't reproduce. I can't reproduce, by the way. I had a vasectomy back in 1988. Never, not one day of regret on that one. Because I produced enough children in my lifetime. One for every person involved in the relationship. I had a child. First wife had a child. Now, she went on to have more children with another man, but that's not the point. I had that one child with the first wife, and then the second wife had a child, and I had a child, and she had a second child, so that's two for her, one for me, and then the first wife had one, that's one for her, two for me. So I've made three children, two mothers, one husband, or father, me. So that's three children for three people. Average. 1, 2, 3. 3 people replaced in a relationship with 3 people, including myself. Me, 1. Wife, 1 is 2. Wife, 2 is 3. 3 people, 3 children. So the balance is maintained. So I didn't add to the overpopulation, or if there is such a thing. And there was a question at one point about second wife having the second child, because she was up there in her 30s and she was not 100% perfectly fit physically at the time. And but doctor says, if you wanna. And she said, no way. And I say, that's cool. I'm proud of her. Because there wasn't anything wrong with the fetus. And she wasn't in bad shape that she couldn't actually have a baby. And she did. And it was cesarean section, by the way. And, and it all worked out fine. And he's adorable baby, adorable kid. And now I'm pretty certain he's an adorable man. Which I love very much. As well as his brother, other brothers, 2 brothers. So I got 3 sons. And they're adorable people. They are not perfect. We won't get into that. One of the things that they're not perfect about is 2 of them haven't spoken to me in 20 years. Approximately. And that's just wrong. And I won't get into that except to say that hurts me. I am in pain from that. I wish I knew what to do about it. I have made efforts to communicate with them, but they have not responded at all. And that's not me. Because if I say, hey, hi, how you doing? And nobody responds, then whose fault is that? Not mine. Now, I don't want to get into the details of that too much, but it's there, and I'm saying it here now. Publicly as this podcast will allow, is that, hey, son, Eben, Connor, call your dad. I'm getting old. We need to, get together. I'm your father, after all. And I can't see any logical reason why you would not contact me and say, hey, Dad, missed you. How's it going? And, we could talk and catch up and see what life is like for all of us, both of them and me. and their lives would be enriched, and so would mine, and that would be great. So if you know Eben and Connor, you know their last names, then, give them a nudge. Say, hey, call your dad. He's getting old. He doesn't have much time. I mean, I could die any day, any night, any time, including 5 minutes from now, or even right now. Bang, bam, dead, just like that. And then, you will not have seen your father forever, ever again, ever, for any reason. You just won't. That's just wrong. It's sad. It's sad. It breaks my heart, and it's just absurd. There's no reason for it. So anyway, Eben, Connor, call your dad. Send me an email. You can contact me on the internet. There are phone numbers. There's emails. You can find me. Not that hard to find. And here I am, and I'm like not that far away from you. All right, moving on to back to the original subject. I know people who've had an abortion. I know why they had an abortion. They were young. They were not mentally capable of raising a child. In my view, and this is just my view, having experienced people who are incapable of raising children because they are themselves still children. I know of a person who had an abortion, and I think it was a good thing because she was, shall we say, for the lack of a better term, raped by some bad guys. I say some bad guys. I don't know. One or more, maybe. How do I know? Because she told me. And I helped her with that situation. She said, I don't want it. It was a very bad situation and I don't want it. And I'm going to get rid of it. I got it. Because and she wasn't that pregnant. It wasn't like she was like 8 months pregnant. This was like a month or so. This was like maybe a month or two, something like that. 6 weeks? I don't remember. But at any rate, I took the woman, young woman, to a place in Pittsburgh, because West Virginia didn't have a place at that point. And I took her to Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh to be exact, and didn't cost me any money, didn't cost her any money. Her mother or guardian at the time paid for it. It wasn't that much, $175. And it was done. And she went on to have another son later on. Not by me, but somebody else. And that's a story on its own, and not the point of this particular talk. But that young man is now a grown man and is doing well, as far as I know. And he's a respectable human being. All right, so there's that. But at any rate, that was done, and it was a good thing. Now, somebody might suggest that was an elective surgery, and yes, it was. Now, physically speaking, I don't know the circumstances or situation of that, but I think for her, under her circumstances, it was a good thing to do. All right, now, moving on to another situation. I know people who have had a bad pregnancy where bad things were happening inside the woman's body. The fetus was not developing well, and it would not have been a viable baby. And she made a rough decision, one that I think she really had no choice to make, and she made it, and she had an abortion, a medical procedure, a legal medical procedure. I keep saying that, and I'll get to why I say that in a minute. The point is, it was necessary. It has nothing to do with, and by the way, I don't have any reason to doubt that the woman is shall we say, somewhat religious. Can't say that she's a full-blown fanatical Christian, but she probably believes in something. All right, so that's not the point. She got a legal medical procedure done in order to avoid very serious problems, perhaps even to her own health. And she had the abortion, and she was saddened by it because she had hoped to have a child or another child, and there you go. She's doing fine, and she did have another child, so she has two, and they seem to be doing very fine. I don't know, healthy and doing well, so that's cool. But it was necessary in her case, and like I said, I know of a case where a girl was a teenager. She was simply not physically capable of reproducing at that point in her life, and the difficulties would have been unthinkable, really. So it was done. In other words, she was raped by her, well, let's say a family member, and so it was not a fair thing for her to be burdened with something like that. And let's forget those so-called fake nonsensical morality crap that these Christians always bring up. But that's just bullshit. There's such a thing as human ethics and human decency. And it's not murdering a baby, by the way, because babies have to be born before you can murder them. So a fetus is not born, therefore it is not a human being. You can't murder something that's not alive. I know you say, it's alive, it's got a heartbeat, blah, blah. That's not even in the real world of not even in a realm of sane thinking. So we won't get into that too much. So the point here is it's a legal medical procedure. It has been for, since what, 1970 or so? And how did that happen? Well, because women said, hey, we need this. It's available and it's safe. And, it's a doctor, medical, health issue. And it's my body and it's my life. And I have a right to say what grows in it and what comes out of it. And anyone who disagrees with that is just an idiot. I'm sorry. It's just stupid. And it's certainly anti-freedom, anti-women, anti-human rights, anti-everything. It's just absolute disgustingly wrong for people to tell other people what they can do with their own bodies and so on. And I don't care whether you like that or not. And if you disagree with me, fuck you. I don't care. You're wrong. It's that simple. You are fucking wrong. All right. Seriously. Just wrong. There is no argument. But the Supreme Court, and as I understand the Supreme Court ruling, and I know there are people that say, well, there were conditions or circumstances that could, maybe not apply, and maybe somebody else could come along later and change this around, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's been, what is that, 30, 40, 50 years? And it's still a legal medical procedure. And it has a right to be. It should be. Like I said, freedom, women's health. It just boggles my mind that anybody would not understand the concept. The Supreme Court said, hey, you have a right to get an abortion. It's a medical procedure. We're going to make the medical procedure legal. And that's the way it's going to be forever and ever and ever and ever. And if you try to change that, you're wrong, and you're a bad person, and you're probably a criminal because, we said, you can't, like these people now in these freaking county, like, I don't know, Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi and all them retarded places. Let's pass a law restricting abortion, blah, blah. And Texas trying to make, abortion's like illegal, so on. Those people are retarded. They're evil people. They may not think they're evil. They may not understand the concept of evil. The devil. Yeah, you're evil. Because the bottom line is, if you think it's wrong, don't have one. And that means you. That doesn't mean somebody else. It means just you. You have a right to say what you do. If you don't want to have an abortion, don't have one. What any other person, woman in the planet wants to do with their body as a fetus is inside, anybody, it's not your business. You have no right to tell them what to do or what not to do. Period. Not debatable. Now, see, the thing is, this debate keeps going on and on and on and on, and the same arguments. All of those arguments against abortion are bogus. They're just bogus. All of them. And it's over and over and over and over. It's just, why don't you just accept the fact that it's wrong to tell people they can't have an abortion if they need one, or if it's feasible for them to do so? Just accept the fact it's a legal medical procedure and let it go. Get a life of your own. Mind your own business. Take care of your own body. And if you don't want to have an abortion, don't fucking have one. Otherwise, fuck off with that shit. And I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I guess it does bother me emotionally. But I'm just trying to be firm and absolute in my expression of this, because it just bugs me that people just refuse to accept reason and logic and biological facts and scientific realities. And human condition requires a little bit of sense, a little bit of reason, a little bit of intelligence, a little bit of compassion. And by the way, don't know, abortion's wrong, God said so, whatever. Fuck the Bible. That's bullshit, and it's always been bullshit, and people who believe that are idiots. I'm sorry. You probably, I'm turning this off. Yeah, well, you don't want to hear me because I'm right, and you know it. You just don't want to admit it because you're stubborn and you're not smart. Yeah, I said it out loud. Duh. So here's the thing. When the Supreme Court ruled, and basically what the Supreme Court does is it takes a law that in this case, made abortion illegal. It took that law and said this law is not allowed. It's not a legal law. And I suppose in some sense of the word, they said it was unconstitutional. Well, duh, freedom, if it's freedom and the Constitution says, hey, you're allowed to be free and you do what you want as long as you don't violate someone else's human rights as a human being, not a fetus, because it doesn't have any human rights, then that means there's no law allowed after that. So here comes along these people today and recently and recent time. We're going to pass a law making abortion illegal. Wrong. No, you can't. The Supreme Court's already said, no, you can't have that law. And it boggles my mind that these laws continue to exist and perpetuate themselves in these various states, like I guess, Mississippi, Georgia, whatever, Texas, so on and so on. When the Supreme Court has already said, you can't make that law, it's illegal. Don't make that law. You will be put in jail. Yeah, because it's one, contempt of the Supreme Court. One, it's a violation of the Constitution and the law that we've ruled on. We've already said you can't have that law back in 1970 or 71, whatever it was. That means you can't have it anytime. Not then, not yesterday, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Case closed, in other words. Done deal. We've already decided it's done. Abortion is a legal medical procedure from now on, forever and ever and ever. No discussion. Because it's the right decision. So all of these states that are passing these regulations and restrictions and trying to interfere with people's rights to do things like have an abortion if they need it, and, give them shit if they want it, for that matter. If the doctor agrees that this is a necessary thing or advisable thing, then, it's none of your business. It's my money paying. No, it's not your money. Most abortions are paid for how? Medical insurance. And there are a lot of people trying to get this out of the way, like, we can't have the medical insurance companies, paying for abortions. Well, wrong. Insurance companies are obligated to pay for medical procedures, and that's one of them. So, insurance companies don't have the right to say no. Medicaid, Medicare, whatever, it's not your money. In the first place, the government makes the money. So, if they have the money, by the way, if you pay the tax, income tax, then, that's your problem. You should know better because the law is quite clear that, Americans are not liable for the income tax. Only corporations, and if you're not a corporation, you're not liable for the income tax. It's the law. If you bother to do any research at all, like I have, and other people I know have, like Dave Champion, for example, get his book, Income Tax, Shattering the Myths, because I've read it, and he's right. And it's true. And anybody else that cares to look into laws can figure this out themselves if they got half a brain. So anyway, you're not liable for the income tax. Congress has never imposed the income tax on the American people as individuals, as non-incorporated people. All right? So this is my position. One, you don't believe in abortion, you think it's wrong, don't have one. You, yourself, nobody else, just you. That's the only thing you have a power over, is you. You have power over your life, your body, you. Nobody else. Period. Case closed. All right? That's called freedom, and that's the way it works. Secondly, it's a legal medical procedure. So anything that, tries to make it illegal is a crime. And that law cannot exist legally. So in Mississippi, they passed a law restricting abortion. They violated the court order of the United States Supreme Court, which says, no, you can't have that law. We've already been through this. We already settled this. It's done. Settled, settled, settled. No law interfering with medical procedure. That is now legal forever. All right. Am I clear on this? Don't argue with me on this. It's not going to happen. It's a monologue, by the way. You're not going to argue with me for obvious reasons, because, it's a monologue. Besides, there's no comment section on my monologues. Well, I think if it's on YouTube, there's a comment section, and if you say something stupid there, and I'm sorry, censorship, really? No, I'm just not going to tolerate stupid shit. So don't argue with me on that. On Facebook, YouTube, whatever, don't even go there. Because I've already addressed your issue. I've already addressed your argument. It's bogus. It doesn't count. It doesn't apply. It's stupid. We're not doing that. All the arguments have been presented. Yours are wrong if you think abortion should be illegal. You're wrong. As wrong as you can get. There is no question there. All right? So change your thinking because you're wrong. Start thinking like an intelligent person. All right. I've settled that. I shouldn't have to ever say it again. In fact, if anybody brings it up again in my lifetime and, says it to me or posts it on the internet or for me, to me, whatever, I'm just going to direct them to this podcast because I'm tired of saying it over and over and over and over and over again. Oh, by the way, there's some kind of rule in America that says that taxpayers' dollars cannot be used to fund abortions. I'm pretty sure that's a rule. I'm pretty sure it still exists, and I hope that they override that and get rid of it because it's idiotic. All right. Oh, by the way, if you're trying to put Planned Parenthood out of business, a legal, necessary, very useful, helpful medical facility for people who need health care. And they do a lot of other things besides abortions. You know, they take care of prenatal, they take care of postnatal, they take care of other women's reproductive problems and other health issues. They're a very good organization. And I don't care if you like that. If you're trying to put them out of business, you're a bad, bad person. Really, really bad. For one thing, you don't believe in freedom. You don't believe in capitalism, which is the basic of freedom, by the way. If you're a free country, if you live in a free country, capitalism is the way that country is operated. Because human beings do engage in capitalism. That's the whole process of freedom. You don't have capitalism, you don't have freedom. If you don't have freedom, you're not going to have capitalism. Yeah, except for maybe some elitists in the Communist Party or something. But, So, stop trying to put a legal business out of business. They have every right to exist, and you have every right to fuck off. Oh, they're murdering babies. No, they're not. They're selling body parts. Well, guess what? They're not selling baby parts. They're selling fetus parts. If that's what they're doing, and they're doing it for a good reason. They should. Why waste it? These are cells or stem cells. Good things to have. If it, it's just garbage. Yeah, garbage. So, if it can be used for something, recycle. Duh. Yeah, I know, I like it. Well, if you think that, they shouldn't be doing that, and if you think that's a bad thing, and they should be out of business because of it, then you're a fucking idiot. Sorry, but you are. End of story. Case closed. I don't want to talk to you. Don't talk to me, because, I'm going to call you an idiot, and, you have no credibility as a human being. And you're just spreading hysteria, and you're arguing about shit you don't even understand, because it's probably like over your IQ of 50. You're not allowed to put a business out of business. I mean, especially if you're not even utilizing that business. If you're not if you're not patronizing a particular business, that's your business. If you think abortion is wrong, or if you think Planned Parenthood is doing a bad thing, don't go to Planned Parenthood for your health care. Duh. Simple. No problem. Problem solved. It's the way it's done in a free country. Yeah. It's called freedom. And the right to do as you please. And the right to have medical care. If you want to go there, get that. Do that. If you don't, then don't. You don't have a right to tell anybody else not to do that. Oh, I want everybody to boycott it. Yeah, well, fuck you again. Still, it's always fuck you because you're just wrong. And you're bad. And you're just idiotic. It just sucks to be you. I'm sorry. All right. Is there anything else I need to talk about in regards to this? Oh, by the way, stop trying to put the freaking legal healthcare business out of business. We need doctors. We need people to help take care of people. And by the way, you're anti-woman. Aside from being anti-freedom, you're anti-woman, which makes you a misogynist bastard. And, don't be telling me that you're a Christian, because you're not. Because Christians would not act that way. I'm pretty sure God said, Jesus said, be nice to people, particularly women. And if you dislike women in that way, that you would prevent them from having health care, prevent them from having the necessary attention in medical facilities by putting a healthy, a legal medical health facility out of business. That's just disgusting. Absolutely fucking disgusting. Unbelievably contemptible. And it's hypocrisy. Yeah, I won't elaborate on that. You know what I'm talking about. You're a hypocrite. I care about that baby's life. And then, you go around murdering people or engaging in criminal activities that hurt people. You discriminate. And I'm not saying everybody in this case, but there are people who are anti-abortion who are also racist pigs. Yeah, seriously. So anyway, I hope I don't have to elaborate on this anymore. I hope I've said it all. I hope it's final to you. I hope you get it. I hope if you're one of those that are anti-freedom, anti-abortion, nut, stupid people, that you think about what I've said and understand that it's true and stop arguing about this. Stop trying to do away with a legal health facility. People need that. And it's paid for by insurance. It's paid for by government programs that have been funded by and voted on by the legislature. It's legal, it's necessary, and it's a good thing for people, particularly women. And if you don't get it, then just butt out. Leave it alone. Mind your business. Find something important to argue about. Like war crimes by, government officials and like George Bush and U.S. military going over to foreign countries and murdering innocent women over there who, by the way, are pregnant. So, you've just aborted a woman's baby. Dropping a bomb on her house. Blowing her to smithereens as well as her fetus. So, hypocrite, duh. So, there you go. And anytime I see anything on Facebook or Gab, even for that matter, or anywhere else, that talks about putting a legal business out of business, or something talks about, anti-freedom, anti-individual freedom, human rights kind of thing, I'm just going to post this podcast right on their freaking face. On their place, wherever they are. Here, listen to this, you moron. All right, I've said that. That was item one, and the last item, only one item. Only had time for one item, pretty much. All right, that's it. So I'm going to stop now, and go take a nap. Catch you later. Oh, spread this around. Share it with your people. Please, share it. Share it. People need to hear what I have to say because I'm an arrogant, egotistical, narcissist. Yeah, and I'm a good narcissist, so that's okay. It's all right to be a narcissist. Hey, because I know I'm not just some guy. So anyway, spread it around. Even if you disagree with me, let your people hear it. Let them get all fumed and hot under the collar and bothered and have their panties in a bind or something. Fine. It'll give me joy. All right. Till next time. D. McClung, Archer Monologues. Bam. See you later.